Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Veth podcast. I cannot believe it's already October. I love spooky season, obviously. Go figure. It only makes sense that I'm so in tuned with spirits during the month of October. What's really exciting, the fact that it's also like spooky month for me, but I'm really excited to introduce you a colleague of mine who had a crazy experience in Cambodia. He was actually possessed by the dance ancestors. And I know you're probably like, what the heck? And people that are watching out there, get educated on this because for the most, I know that it's a little more of a taboo topic. And I know that sometimes there's religions and all these other practices that this is deemed as demonic or something of that nature. It is not. If you are an audio listener through the Veth podcast, I recommend you to watch the video format on my YouTube or Spotify because there are some parts where my colleague had spoken in Khmae, and it's also in subtitles, so go ahead and watch that. So for in the beginning, I will tell you that just a little disclaimer. In the beginning, he did speak a little Khmer, and I'm going to try my best to put as much episode as I can during spooky season. So without further ado, cue the intro. Testing mic check. I talk to dead people, and I still have time to slay. Dead or alive, I keep it cute. And you're listening to the Veth podcast. Okay, so I have an amazing guest with me, Chummeng Suan, who is I would say a multi-artist, dancer, visual artist. He does a lot. A little backstory on Chummeng. He had learned how to dance under my wings. What age? Say maybe 13?
Yeah, 13.
13, 14?
12, 13.
Oh,
14.
dang. And how old are you now?
I am 28.
Oh, wow. So a little story. Chummeng had learned from the Ballet school, but then he transitioned into the Angkor dance troupe. That's how we met. I was the assistant artistic director at that time, and I remember him begging me so often just to learn like Matye, which is the ogre role. We're gonna get into a little bit of that, and I was like, you're not gonna learn this yet until I know you're right. And I think it comes from my mediumship because I can sense when people are ready and when people are genuinely want to take over into this role because it's a hard role to get into, and I finally took him in. So, Chummeng, can you talk a little bit about the difference, because not a lot of people know this, the difference between Cambodian classical dance and folk dance.
Khmer យើងមានពីរល្បាំ two form. Well, many form. យើងមានច្រើនណាស់ សិល្បៈគ្រប់មុខ ប៉ុន្តែ the two well known are classical របាំបុរាណ ហើយនិងរបាំប្រជាប្រិយ វាខុសគ្នាដោយសារមួយតកតងទៅជីវិតពិត មួយតកតងទៅអាទិទេព
He said basically there's two type of dance in Cambodian dance repertoire. There are classical dance and folk dance. Folk dance depict the everyday life in Cambodia, like, you know, fishing, farming, harvesting, and then classical dance in connection with spirits and the divine. Can you also explain a little bit about what's the connection between Rabam Boran and Atitep, like the divine? We're highlighting more on the classical.
So របាំប្រជាប្រិយ ភាគច្រើនពេលគេបួងសួងសុំទឹក ក៏វាមានអាភាពព្រលឹង ឬក៏ spiritual or a connection to the earth. But then when you're also are a practitioner of Khmer classical or Mamoran, you're also merging yourself in that realm. ចឹងយើងលាយអាជីវិតពិតជាមួយអាជីវិតថ្វាយទៅថ្វាយរបាំទៅពួកអាទិទេពដើម្បីមានគោលបំណងឬក៏ប៉ាងសូមគេហៅថាប្រាថ្នាអ្វីមួយដែលយើងចង់បានចំនួនហ្នឹងលួងគាត់មានខូចផុនគាត់មួយសិតដូចជារបាំបុរាណអ្នកហាត់សមហើយនឹងអ្នក ចង់និយាយថាគេយករបាំហ្នឹងទៅតាក់ទងទៅអាទិទេពដើម្បីសុំទឹកភ្លៀង so លួងភាគច្រើនគាត់មាននៅក្នុងវាំងគាត់ពួកនារីដែលនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងគឺជាអ្នកសុំប្រាថ្នាអ្វីៗដើម្បីថែជាតិ
Yeah.
ជាពិសេសសប្តាហ៍ថ្ងៃហ្នឹង when you know ពេលជាតិយើងអត់ជួបអាសន្នឬក៏ជួបគេហៅថា civil បញ្ហានៅក្នុងជំនួយស្រុក civil war.
Yeah, like if there
essentially.
is some sort of hardship within
Yeah.
the country form itself. What he's saying is that the queen back then had used the dance itself for prayers for rain and life, but to dive a little bit deeper into it, it's used for rituals when there is war and hardships, and it can also be like climate changes within the country when they need rain and things like that, because there are two seasons in Khmae, where it's the dry season and the rain season, and of course when it's drier, they're in desperate need of rain, and rain produces life and crops and things like that, because Khmae is an agricultural country.
And that potency is born inside that practice. So it's very, very potent.
Khmae, Cambodian classical dance is a little bit more slower paced than folk dance. Folk dance is a little bit more lively, but it also connects with Mother Earth and all of that. In Cambodian classical dance repertoire, there are 4 main characters. Can you go into that?
Yeah. So there's 4, right? Niang, Narong, Yet, Swan. But I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Tua Yet.
Yeah. That's
it's a journey to go on. It's a journey itself to go on each, to learn to practice each role. But yung hatsame, yung da the play nang jang umata tuaniang, you walk that path, and it varies from one person to the next. But the most difficult role to ever cast is tuaya, and even now, even in the past, even from my journey to having conversation with other former Yet teacher, they always somehow relate their practice with spiritual practice, and even with you, which is surprising.
We're both the ogre role, which is the giant role. I do see this as not really talked about. It's not that you are special, but in some ways we are kind of special, because the role is a little bit more harder, and it's actually one of the biggest roles. You can't go, they're all in depending on a certain role of the dance repertoire, it has its ranks. But in the more, if we want to go in a little bit more in the spiritual realm, the ogre role is the highest form that you can learn, and it takes on a lot than just the physicality of learning the dance, right? It takes mental and spirituality. All characters are like that, but for something, there is something different about
Niang get tun plun, so Ngon we at nang meaning they're heavyweight, right? Ngon at nang jang ke huam man, right? And it's a depiction of the female role itself, what a female embody,
right?
That is jivat, but
yes,
the same thing with Narong. Tu po jang pip sang ha get they can mimic
like how a handsome man would walk.
Yeah. Oh well, another one is to a swan. You can just go out in the wild, which, right? These are human depiction or animal depiction, but I do yet. Do yet take my
It's imaginative,
Do yet is imaginative.
Yeah.
A combinations of doy, narong, maybe kabatnying a little bit, and then there lamut, and then perhaps maybe a little bit of swine there. It's the imagination of this.
I've never thought about that. This is like new to me.
Yeah.
Like I never really put it in that context where the female and the male role is what is existed here in this earth plane, and also monkey is an animal. But they're also god and goddesses and things like that. But these are the things that you can find here now. But for giant, just makes sense.
It's non-existent.
Yeah, it's non-existent.
So it's imaginative. Chẳng tha số. Bàn tay with a back. With a back này hồ tu. Even bạch, right? Not niang, not narong, not swa. Bàn tay, it's heavily strong. Hồ bạch hồ charak. Yeah, mùi khóc nè.
Yeah.
From that group D, from that group La, to you, to that group boy, to Yay T, to Yay Piet. This is a list of I have learned from and observed from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even me finding my own self in the role of
We see a batch of monkeys, and we see a batch of female roles, we see a batch of Nerong roles. They do train a batch of but there's always one that will come out of that group that will make it be like, I don't know, someone who is like the best, if that makes sense. And it's always rare. And we talked about this all the time. Is so rare, the role itself. Let's dive in a little bit with Sepekru a little bit before any big productions. Just in general, it doesn't have to be big production, but mainly it's the big production that we do, Sepekru Tom. Sepekru Tom is a sacred ceremony, and in some ways I think it's rituals. We refrain from using rituals. I don't know why, because it deemed as like ritual is like woo woo and witchy and things like that. It is a sacred ritual dance that we still practice till this day, and we do it here in the US. And before we go out and put on this production, we do this, like, what you say, 4-hour long of ritual of asking the dance gods and ancestors and the one that are deceased before us, and asking for their guidance. So it's this beautiful long event that we are offering fruits,
incense,
pig heads, incense,
anything.
Yeah, like basically like costumes and all of that, and mainly dance. You can go a little bit about that.
Yeah. So going back to what I was saying a little bit, how this is, how I said, Peter may be different from the group, this is lineage. Collective lineage, collective knowledge learning. Some back through is a celebration of this lineage. A long list of masters that pass down their knowledge from one generation to the next, and to see it transform, evolve, shift, change through time. In Sambakru, you have generations of dancers all in one space. And that's potency. That power of potency is your connection to your ancestral knowledge, a prayer that you ask for, a blessing that you're asking for, a wish.
It also comes from humble experiences too. I feel like enable for someone to really genuinely teach about the spirituality of dance comes from a humble place. I was taught by Nikruta, the Niang role, and somewhat Nerong, but she's more of Niang, but Nikrupoy has, not that Nikruta is not humble about it, but there's something about Nikrupoy, who is that giant teacher, that kind of embedded that spirituality in me. Because Nikruta is our teacher here, she kind of stay away from that because she gets scared a little bit.
Oh, it's a scary world. It's a scary world. It's actually
not meant that, we're going to get into more a little bit about this later. It's not meant to be scary. I think what people is, I think till this day, in any other form of religion and practices, it's always some scary part to it, because it's the world of the unknown.
It's the world of the unknown, and all will find themselves in it. And I believe that all end up finding themselves in it because it's such an isolated role. Not everyone can be a Niang, everyone can be a Nerong, and Nerong can be a Yet, but nobody can also be a Yet.
Going back to Sepekru, can you explain a little bit like why we offer a certain amount of numbers of incense to the role?
So one of the amount of incense, as a kid, you start with 3 or 5 because that's the level of respect. It goes with age, goes with the role you're portraying. If I'm performing the role of Yet on stage, then I am expected to make an offering with the correct amount of number, which is number 9, right? Number 9, because he has 9 head. 1 incense per head.
Don't he have 10?
10.
Yeah.
Oh, right. 9 or 10?
He has 10.
With a brom up
with
above.
brom up top. Yeah, so that makes it, his own head is 9.
9.
The special one's up top.
Yeah. And so it's important that you offer, and it's also believed that odd number, less set, meaning to bring you wealth, bring you more prosperity.
I think in Southeast culture, numerology is really important.
So the number 9 is often seen as a higher number because 10 is 1 plus 0, and that would be 1.
And then that goes to like going back down to female Nerong and monkey and stuff. They usually do like 7.
5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 to 7.
Yeah. And Niang is as simple as, they go in, they practice. It's not, okay, it's not simple, but the less complicated, the more intensive the movement is in It's something that needs a lot of body strength, emotional strength,
mentally, physically.
training.
I want to not say like, well, yeah, mentally and physically, but yet every yet that I've known that had to tend to be special. Let's go back to, because I am a psychic medium. Yet is very spiritual. Not that the other roles are not, but there's something about the Yet role that carried that part. Yep. When he learned with me, I already knew that he was somewhat going to be foreseeing things, but I've never said anything.
Yeah.
That's just when someone is under me, I kind of help them. Not that I do it intentionally, but I think it's because I've already connected with the divine in that sense, especially the Yet role also. When I know that I'm touching someone, I know that they're also going to be special. When I say special, it's the ability to foresee things, the ability to see the dark path. By dark, it doesn't mean like evil things. Just again, unknown. Unknown world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we're gonna get into a little bit about this.
Yeah.
What happened to you by diving into? There was this incident. Let's just get into it.
Just dive into it.
Yeah, there was this incident at one time. I got a phone call from his sister, and I was at work, and she was petrified, and you were in Cambodia, and she had said that you're being possessed by the damn ancestors. I was like, holy fuck. Broad daylight at work, and I was like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? She's like, yeah, and it's been going on for 4 hours straight, and they don't know what to do. Let's talk about that.
Yes, so it was crazy.
Yeah.
Mind you, I think the moon was full.
It was a full moon night.
Yeah. It was a full moon night. And I can always say I am connected, but I never realized how connected I was to the world. Till this day, I barely talk about it, and we'll never, okay, we'll talk about it later down the road, but there's a taboo in Cambodia to talk about these things. For me, that moment, I remember I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was going nuts, and I need to see a psychiatrist because I thought I was literally going insane.
Yeah.
But the feeling was being attacked by many spirits of the ancestors, from monkey to Yet to Niang Narong. They all came at once. The last one was Yet. It's like an intensified Sampekru in one night, in 4 hours.
What would you say your experience like what was happening to you in the beginning? Like, what was your first feeling and thoughts, and what the fuck is happening?
Crying intensively. Mind you, that time I wanted to leave the arts.
Yeah, so you're going through a lot.
Yeah. And it was right after Clark production, so I left to Cambodia. Also, I had a transition in jobs, so I was at a weak mental state a little bit, and my dad was also sick. He was getting surgery. I was in Cambodia for my dad's surgery.
There's a lot going on.
So already I'm mentally vulnerable. And I remember that night particularly. Oh, by the way, I never saw any of the teacher, and I said I will not go see any of them, and I drew the line of not going to see any of them.
Yeah, when you were in Cambodia, you were like, why was that? Why didn't you want to go?
Because I didn't want to get involved in the arts, because I had it. I had all of it. I had all flavors of what it means to direct. And you were there for Clark. You were there for every step, every hardship. So I said, maybe it's time for me to take a break. Nope, they all came all at once. They haunted me. They come and grabbed my ass and brought me back like it was tomorrow. And there was 3 teachers that they called for.
Yeah.
Nekru Mom.
And these are teachers are alive teachers that's teaching in Cambodia right now.
Nekru Mom, Nekru Spilin, and Nekru Boy. But for some reason...
Who are the 3 main master role teachers of the Yet?
Yeah. Nekru Mom is a direct descendant of Ye. Nekru Boy is not a direct descendant, but Nekru Supilin is a favorite. Nekru Boy is the trusted teacher that was going to pass down the knowledge. So those 3 play a critical role, and I didn't quite fully comprehend why I was the chosen messenger in this realm like dương ở tuần đấng got man got chang man I type in ake chang man but even be young becoming since I was a kid look Leah always come in my dream and said hi chmo got by dong call my name 3 times look yay and then she'll come and help and
like Beetlejuice and she comes out
yeah and it worked because you were away on tour and sometimes I feel so isolated because it's not a lot, it's not something common, so every time I have a questions about something I always try to dream, and I do dream, I do see like okay, what am I missing?
Were you scared?
Oh yeah. I was scared the living shit out of me. Like,
so you know what's funny, right? I don't know if you can attest to this or relate, because when I had my spiritual awakening, my spiritual attack, realizing that I can talk to spirits, I never really dived into this, so maybe on the episode I will talk about my experience. It was almost like I'm physically here, but I'm not. So I'm aware of what's happening to me spiritually. Like, I felt from my experience, I knew there was an ancient woman that was like holding me back, and she wanted me to see something. But I was scared. Again, I was scared because I was wondering what the fuck is going on with me. And then but I was also aware that something was happening. You know, but you can't. But it's almost like you can't control it.
I cannot control it.
It's like you have to surrender. Does that make sense?
You
like
have to surrender.
you can't like let go of me, or don't let this happen to me. It's just your body just
goes. And I can tell you it's not controllable. It's like they are in you. You know what's happening. You want to say things, but it's like jaw locking. It's like this. The whole time that feeling exists. And every time it happens, it's a little bit like traumatizing because the lack of control you have of yourself, and the amount of people who try to stop me fail, meaning 5 people did. All the housemaid tried. All the housemaid cannot and would not understand, and you don't realize how strong you are until like they tried. Like 2 people tried to pin me down, 3, 4.
Oh my gosh, you didn't tell me this. So this is what happened, right? Do you remember the beginning of that year? I don't know what year that this incident happened.
That was the first episode happened 2 years ago.
Okay.
2.5 years ago.
So here's the crazy part. I don't know if you remember this, but we were meeting so we always have meetings about our production team, about our company and things like that. And Chummeng had asked me a question like, oh, what do you think is new that's happening? And I told him, like, I don't know what's new that's happening, because again, I have predicted a lot of things, and sometimes I'm not aware of it. And the Cambodian classical dance world, I said, there's something weird that's happening with Yip, and I don't know what's going to happen. And it was later towards the fall, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or no, maybe it was like February,
January, February.
And then I remember just saying, like, there's something that's going to happen within the Yip, but I didn't know it was going to be about the Yip that you got possessed. And I don't want to say possessed. Let me teach you something about that term possessed. The term possessed, a lot of the Hollywood and a lot of religion has used that, being deemed as the devil, the demon, and evil things. I think the proper term when this type of thing that happens of when you're being controlled by like the other realm is called transmediumship, which means that your loved ones or someone is coming through to relay messages. So therefore you kind of, in a transmediumship, they practice where they surrender and they allow the spirit to take over. But for your sake, you didn't allow anybody to take over, but I think it was because by your lineage, you had carried that. And the crazy part is that, speaking of lineage, I learned this, that your dad had that gift.
Yes, he did. But he don't talk about it. My aunt did.
So it's not strange that it should pass on to you, but nobody wants that to happen.
It's not, but it is at the same time, because I would never imagine that I would ever have this. And trust me, till today, till last week, I still can see certain things. The night before Nekrudi came, I had a dream that she would come. And then the next morning, I received a call saying Nekrudi is coming.
It's a part of that world, the ability of tapping in. And when I say this, people will say like, oh, this is the devil, you don't know what you're doing. But if you think about it, this been happening since ancient time, way before any type of religion came in and say, oh, this is the demon. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Okay, we're going to jump a little bit, right?
Okay.
I went to work and I was working for Alta at that time. Alta, it was early in the morning. I got that phone call from your sister, right? Before that happened, I walked in, I clocked in, I was drinking my coffee. Then all of a sudden, I felt this big, not dark, but like this being that was overshadowing me. And I jumped and I was like, what the fuck? And I was in the back of the stock room at the Ulta Cosmetics. And then I turned around and I physically said it out of my mouth. I was like, okay, not today. I'm working. Please leave me alone. And I knew it was an energy of like big presence, but it wasn't dark. But the only reason why I jumped because it's the unknown. Again, I do this work for like almost 9 years now, but it's still kind of like, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, I don't know if this is like something, you know, whatever it is. Next thing you know, in less than 3 minutes after when I jumped in, I was praying like, oh, you know, leave me alone. I'm working right now. A phone call from your sister. And then she said, I don't know what to do. She was going crazy. It's been 4 hours. We light incense and they're not leaving. What should I do? And immediately I got like this download. When I say download, it's like messages from the ancestors. And I told your sister, I said, don't call him by your name. She goes, how should I call him? Say, oh, just say look yay or look ta, what do you need? And apparently she's like, okay, let me ask him. And then that's when you ask for 9 incense, 9 fruits, whatever it was. And then I was like, do this specifically. Did you not know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I said not to because they were telling me, don't call him by your name, your actual name. And then I asked, so what did they say? She said, 9 incense, 9 different fruits. Not 9 fruits, but 9 different fruits.
Foods,
It's like if they can get pig's head, whatever. This apartment was your apartment. And I was kind of babysitting your apartment for you. And he had the altar of the dance mask in this living room. And I knew specifically I need a dance for them to leave. And then I called Lukuru Han, who is like a shaman, who is like a priest-ish, if you want to call that in Khmae. And I was like, I need your help. He's like, what's happening? I was like, Chummeng is taken over by the ancestors. And he was like, literally, he was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah. He's like, where is he? I was like, in Cambodia, it's happening right now.
Gosh, yeah.
And then I told him like, please come meet me here because we're about to like lay everything out and we're gonna do the ceremony. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm coming here. And then he told me to dance all the roles and I did all the roles and he was chanting and everything. When I met you after all this incident, you go, I felt really calm because for some reason I heard Lukruhan chanting in my head. And then I was like, dude, he was chanting here. What are the odds of you connecting?
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's crazy how little I know history of the teacher that we're called upon until everything had finished. And then it opened people up. It forged old connection. It validates. I can tell you.
Can you explain a little bit why it opened up the
world,
the forge, or the people coming together?
Like for example, the second time it happened was at Negrusapilan's rehearsal space. Never did once ever she realized, and it was all about Khmae. Khmae, yeah, it's important, right? Which we'll talk about later on. When it's the readjustments, also the love, the care, the reaffirmation that she's still watching. And this kind of, I think, led up to my next gift of who I can see in the other world and what they're in and if they're happy or not. But I see Lukyai loving Negrusapilan, loving the 3 student that is passing on her knowledge, reforging their knowledge, because at the end of that possession, the second time possession,
the trance,
she rekindled all of them and they all come together around me. And I was laying there, I remember all of them crying, and she specifically asked for Jude to leave.
Really?
All of them cried.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Both male and female student. She asked all of them. She said, come. Everyone. Oh, give time about it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, that's crazy. Chut it's a specific type of music that's being played to adorn the dance when they are ready to take off flight, to leave or to exit the stage. So.
And look, I remember that group Yom, all the student Yom that day.
Why do you think you were being the chosen one too.
I think I was the neutral one, and I remember that they probably don't know who I am, which is fine because I know who they all were, and I'm somehow into my life, my journey also somehow interconnected with theirs, but I wasn't deeply involved in the feud, the misunderstanding, the love or the craziness that they had in Cambodia.
Sorry to cut you off, but just a little backstory. Even though this is a spiritual work, it's still we're still in the physical realm. We're still human being. We have our tendency of jealousy and envy. Even though this is a spiritual practice, people still kind of have their differences.
Yep, and I don't know any of that. I don't. The one person I know that have loved, that have compassion is Nagrupoy because look, yay, that not a single word yell at Nagrupoy, that not single word take out a stick and beat Nagrupoy, that not one single word call out Nagrupoy as
I to reprimand her or something.
Yeah, to reprimand her. But there's also like be a quat, like
like harsh words.
Harsh words. Yeah. There was a sense of respect.
Well, if you think about it, there's something about Nagrupoy that I find very magical. I think she kind of reached that realm of spirituality. You know, if you think about it, she's almost like Yeji now.
Yeah,
she's old.
But with the others, I can tell you it was a piece of stick getting ready to be whipped.
Oh my gosh.
Whipped. When I say whipped, I meant like now. You know what Ballet is?
Yeah, it's discipline.
Yeah, Ballet, discipline. Ballet is
you mean I thought you meant Ballet like
no, Ballet. Yeah, Ballet. Ballet is rattan. And bamboo and rattan is two separate things. Rattan will never break. Bamboo will break. And that hurts. That hurt. That dig deeper into the dancer more than ever. And every time they come, it's like like
scared
meltdown. Like when I say melt, one dancer tried to sing while this all happened. I looked at them from a corner, silent. It's a silent moment.
It's almost kind of teach discipline because I can only imagine how it was back then in even in the palace or even before, like you know your place and you know your lane. And I feel like nowadays the dancers nowadays, no one fucking knows their lane. No one knows. Everyone thinks.
Oh, you better know your lane. Only 3 people got asked to stand up and dance. Only 3.
Yeah, you know we do have. Well, obviously I'm not going to show it. But like there are videos of you in. You still have it too, right?
I do.
Yeah.
But I never go back and watch it.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be either because it's traumatizing.
You know what happened once? It's traumatizing. It happened twice. Okay. Now I'm getting that. It happened 3 times. Okay, now I'm used to it.
So being said with all of this, I do want to inform people that I know that, again, it's taboo with all this. The fact that I do this professionally, where I connect with people, loved ones, where I can get in contact with spirits and the divine itself and all these beings, angels and all these realms, and I don't have real explanation to this. I hope that one day no one does, but what I've noticed is that people will say like, why is he into it and things like that. This is like demonic, this is evil. It's not. The reason why these trance possession happens from your ancestors or from your loved ones, things like that. I have witnessed like aunties and uncles being possessed by their loved one that passed away. It's their way to come through, to show love, to teach something. It's nothing bad. And in fact, and we're going to go back to like what I was saying, something weird or special that's going to happen within the year. Maybe the teachers are trying to get the year to come together because there's a lot of differences inside.
Conflict.
Yeah. And not, you know, a lot of the yet role, even into Khmae till this day, we're not being uplifted. It's always more focused on the prince and the princess role.
And also, like I said, every year from every generation that's different. There's no way that Karula have danced the same way as Bong Peter, Snakru Boy, or me. No way. No way. And that is beautiful. Let alone to attempt to unify everything. No way.
I think in a way because individuality. We all carry some different techniques, and we are being taught techniques and ancient, like even passed down from generation with the movements, but you still have to embody your own. You have to embrace your own technique, if that makes sense. You can't just always have the teacher teach you certain things. And also with this role, it's almost like you're being chosen without
knowing.
Without knowing, because that's what happened with me on the group boy. And I was like probably 15, 16, and she was like, "You're learning giant," and I was like, a little twink boy. I was probably 90 pounds, but she saw something in me. And during that time when I was younger, I was just learning just to learn. I carried the giant. Well, later on, as I developed my spirituality, getting into my adulthood, in my 20s, that's when I realized holy shit, I can't be horsing around with these movements. Because I had a nightmare one time because I was fucking around with little small crowns, little mock-up crowns of my soul Megla, and I was cleaning my room and Sadani and Bones was there.
I remember you telling me
I had a fucking nightmare. And then I went to go learn with the group boy. The moment I opened the door, you know what she said to me? She goes, "You had a nightmare last night?" I was like, "Yes." And she goes, "Come here." She take 9 incense and a candle and stay there for 5 minutes alone. And I was like, and then she explained to me that they were also bothered. She was being bothered by the dance ancestors because I was fucking around.
Yep. You cannot not just use the movement and dance and play. It's not the dance itself, but it's the practice of the dance.
Yes.
It's not about you performing, it's the practice of the dance. It's not about you going on stage and looking the best of you are and who you are and what you are. It's about you learning the dance. It's about you executing every movement. It's about your relationship with your teacher. It's about your connection and the respect and who you are as a person.
And channeling that role into your everyday lives too.
You cannot be a yet if you do not maintain truth. If you do not maintain meditation, if you do not maintain respect, if you do not maintain leadership or some form of that, right? These are like the core of what it means to be a yet. You can't just born to be one. I mean, when I first watched Vampira dance, I said that's what I want to be. I want to be a yet.
That's crazy.
But I never realized.
I wanted to be a princess.
I never realized what I was taught at all, and who taught me that. It was Nakrupoy and Mong Peter. I begged Mong Peter to learn. He started my journey, but I never realized what Yepoy had passed to me, which was Chu Chai Yet.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Never one day until I realized a couple years back of how important this dance form was.
I want to talk a little bit about that. So Chu Chai Yet is an old form of dance that hasn't been done in decades.
Yeah. The group boy was the last.
But the last is probably when how old? Maybe she was in her teens.
Yeah.
And I've always find it special how we received it. But the reason why we received it because I think deep down inside the group boy probably have this inkling of intuition of saying we're meant to carry it and we're meant to pass it on, because I realized that a lot of the year also we don't like to gatekeep some things, but in our pure heart we're meant to share it, and I think that's why it landed on us.
To pure heart, but don't small. Do it the minute you lost your truthfulness, the minute you fail to judge truth from reality, I feel like that's when you disconnect yourself further and further, and you lost a sense of your practice.
And speaking of this dance, it wasn't even passed on to anyone in Cambodia. It got down to Cambodian Americans here, if we were able to produce shows from it. How do you feel about just dancers in the new generation just kind of willy-nilly taking these art forms and just perform? I mean, I have my own opinions.
I think do Ning, do Narong, go ahead. But just that one tool, you can tell who their teacher, you can tell where that's coming from. I mean, at this age, I think I collected enough knowledge from all the teachers, from all of their experience, enough to say, oh, where that movement comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for me, when I see, so far they're all pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the other half, I don't know. That I will leave it to them.
Yeah,
To me, I focus on the practice itself
and the
versus
heart.
the performance of it. I can care less if, and this is where it's painful to teach student, right? This is where it's painful to pass down the knowledge, but it's the student have to learn to accept that. Like, it's not about the performance.
Mm-hmm.
It's never.
Yeah.
It's about the hard work, the dedication, the discipline. Because I don't need to pick someone who's talented. It's not about the talent they have. It's about who they are, their inside, their passion.
Yeah, you kind of almost have to like.
It takes 5 years to train. 5 to 10 years.
We kind of almost have to do this thing where we kind of watch people first before we want to pass on the next knowledge.
Yeah.
But my thing was, the new generation coming up about, and even like in companies and stuff, just Cambodian dance, classical in general. It doesn't matter if it's classical or folk. I think from what I want to see is that take pride in it, but also show love and show kindness, because I'm seeing a lot of the newer generation is just all about like, well, because I can do this, I'm going to do it. And to me, that becomes harmful to the arts and trying to educate the world of what we're capable of, because some people can see your elaborate costumes, but you don't have the technique. And then they think, I want to share and I want to spread love. And I think all even beginners coming out to create their dance company, which I love, I'm so proud. But please do take the time to seek out knowledge, because you won't be respected in the dance community. You might be respected with others, but you still can't make it that far further in life into reaching into a higher caliber of performances. People can see that right through people. So I want to teach that too.
I can tell you this. If you ever encounter a Yet teacher, they can smell you 10 miles away. Don't think you can run away from them.
Yeah, they can see it. Like if you're bullshitting throughout your way through the dance.
They have the sharpest mind and the sharpest eye. I spend time with Wong Peter. I spend time with Nekru Boy. I spend time with Nekru Priep. I spend time with Nekru Lan, Nekru D. They can smell you 20, 30 miles away before you even approach them. Their huge sense is so sharp.
Not a lot of people, I'm going to speak on my behalf on the Cambodian Americans here. I've gotten the opportunity to be trained by Lukru Chiang and Nikru Boy. They taught me humility. They taught me when you go out and perform, you're not yourself anymore. You're not who you are. You got to get rid of your humanistic self.
Yes.
You can't go up there and think that because I have makeup on, I'm pretty. And then Lukru Chiang had said that you disconnect yourself from the spiritual world. When you go up on stage and you still practice the divine practice of being humble and spirituality and performing and put on a good show and still embody your technique and your passing, and you want to show the world love and light, that's you as a leader, as a lead role. That's you as a Cambodian classical dancer, the pure soul of what a dancer, what it takes. Because I do see a little bit of, I get it. In the world of dance, we're still going to have our pompous ways. And, there are times when I put on makeup, when I go perform, I'm like, I look good as shit, But when I go on stage, though, I always say, I got to release myself away from this, because I want to share the love for Cambodia, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, because the time I spent with all of you have demonstrated that every single movement matter, and how to find meaning in every single movement. That's building relationship. That's building memory. When I was a kid, I remember going to Wong Peter's house, practicing one movement, like finding the meaning of this movement, right? Like holding it. That is building relationship, and that relationship is lineage.
Yeah.
That's triggering to that spiritual realm. And that's where I see another world.
It's just like when you practice a spiritual, it doesn't even have to be spiritualism or anything like that. it reflects into your life, like how you take care of yourself in your life. You cannot move on to the next move until you master this yet, because if you go on the next move without mastering this part, you're going to harm yourself. It's just like life in general. Just like work in general. You can't master this will make you think you're going to do it better the next move. It takes time.
Taking the time to know every movement, but every yet teacher I have trained with, and I don't consider myself yet of a student, because when you're a student of a teacher, like, and then that feeling is rewarding, but also it's just like, I'm able to train with this teacher for a very short amount of time frame. When do I find myself in their shoe, right? But what matters to me is the lineage of connection that you have, that I have with you as a kid going to your house, just learning one movement. Like, okay, if it's this, it's this. It has to be that clear. When I spend time with Nekru Lead, when I spend time with Nekru Boy, it's the same thing. She will not let me move on to the next move until I establish that movement. When you establish that movement, that reward is much higher. That discipline is built on, and that is that spiritual connection that I am connected to. That experience opened my eye to a new world, a world where I can see where they're at and what realm they're in. I see Luk Yai Cho, and this is my honest truth. Believe it or not, like some na if you don't believe, and some if I'm saying it wrong, and some if you don't have that same feeling as I do. I know where Yei Cho is. She's waiting by the gate.
You've said that before.
Yep. I know where Luk Yei Lia is. She's lingering in this world, still waiting for something. She haven't finished her attachment yet. I know Yuk Yei Mi is happy up there. The princess is happy up there, which we'll see you soon.
Don't say that before she's like,
I never seen this world until this happened to me.
Yeah.
And then I start seeing other people, energy, who have passed away within around them, and I can tell what realm they're in. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if I'm wrong, and I can never validate that, but I do see it, and I cannot accept that fact that I can see it. Still today, I'm lost. Am I seeing it as something's missing? Am I going crazy? Am I going psycho?
No, I think just know that you're not crazy, because trust me, I wake up talking to spirit some days where they come and talk to me in my dreams or physically in my ear, my mind. So just know that you're not alone, actually. A lot of people had experienced this, but they just don't want to talk about it because it's taboo. And I do want to go back to like the teacher-student relationship. Me as a Cambodian classical dance, I just, even with Nikru Ta, and especially with Nikru Boy, who is my teacher, I still feel not worthy till this day, and I've learned almost everything with her, and I think that's where the respect and the love and being humble, what Bam comes through, is when you have to. I know that I carry a lot of knowledge, more than a lot of people here in the U.S., and I consider someone who was born and raised here in the U.S. I'm so grateful that I retained a lot of knowledge, and I've been taught by a lot of masters from Khmae. I will tell you that. But till this day, I'm still not worthy of that student, if that makes sense. And I feel, and this is why I appreciate the Guru Chiang and the Guru Boy teaching me how to become to have a little humility. From this experience, do you see any like beneficial after? Not beneficial, but like
I do.
From connecting with the
I
dance
do.
ancestors.
And again, I say this like somto if you don't believe in this. And somto if you think it's like beyond taboo or something that is crazy, that I'm psycho, that whatever. But I do see. I have sense. That's if I want to open, and the opening up my third eye, I have done it before. It's scary to me still. And I can see something that comes and tell me all the time, like, this is about to happen, this is about to happen. Like, that sense, they come in my dream. I know ahead of time.
So your relationship with the dance, let's call them dance gods, because they're all, has gotten a little more closer, if that makes sense? Yeah.
Closer, more potent. and it demands a lot from me. It demands that I have pure heart, which is hard. Nobody is pure heart, but it's hard, but it demands that level of love. It's never about the show. I can tell you that it's not about you going up to dance. It's not. It's about the love you have.
Before we end this, I do want to say this. I don't know if you can attest to this, but I've noticed that, and I've said this before, and I think my sister is one of them.
Yep.
I've never said this to her though, but maybe if she's listening to this podcast, she can actually hear this. There are dancers that can go out. And then I train this a lot with you guys, with Flying Orb and Khmae Urban, whoever comes into the dance company. I teach these dancers that when you go out there, it's not about you anymore.
Yep.
And even though these dance repertoire has been done millions of times, it could be Wapalake, it could be the blessing dance. You've done it over and over. But if you are someone who can throw out your ego outside the door, and you're still wearing the same costume, you have lashes on, you look beautiful, you go on there, but when you go out and perform out of the pure sacredness of the heart and also what divine dance mean, you can actually heal the audience. You can make the audience cry, even though they don't know lyrics, even though they don't know what the fuck is going on. They feel this attachment. It's because energy is so powerful.
Yes.
And I've said that the only person that had done that was my sister.
Yes.
And I've noticed that, and it happened with Nikru Savaya and Rosa when she was performing. They both cried. I was like, "What the hell?" My sister had always had that because my sister is humble. She is what I call a lead dancer because she lead with her heart, and she's able to teach the next generation. She's able to teach the next dancer to be the same. Does that make sense? In the way you do have, because I felt it when you came out to do Tropol. And I've always said this, I'm so proud of you because I've taught you to be a giant, right? And I've always been above you in the roles. But the fact that I was able to dance a role that was now below you and you're above me, when I was standing there in the costume watching you, I was like, this is my dream. This is my goal, is to get a student to become a master. I've always said this thing where, because I've noticed that like masters are created rarely, but I want to be a master that can create masters. Does that make sense?
I mean, I would not put myself at that level yet because there's so much to learn.
Yeah, same here. That's why I say, am I worthy? You know, I still battle with that. You know?
And I still ask myself, do I know everything about yet? No, I do not. I know this much. My teacher knows this much. Like this is how much I know. And if I can one day just learn one move, then I can make that one difference. From Peter to Nakru Boy to Nakru La to Nakru D to Nakru Priep to all the teacher. I learned so little from all of you. So little. Literally.
Well, Chummeng, do you have, before we leave, do you have any message for the audience regarding what we talked about?
I say, if you are a dancer or a practitioner of any art form, do it from the bottom of your heart and not for anything else. Connect with your lineage, connect with your ancestors, connect with those who are around you. That is the currency of exchange. Practice your art with discipline, and I will promise myself to do the same. Because that will move us forward. It's not the performances that matter if you're in the dance world. And it's not the way it looks that matter. But it matters more when you do it from your heart. And that's going to connect you to a new spiritual world that you will ever find yourself in. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I want to say thank you so much for joining my podcast, which I'm really excited. A lot of my audience has been wanting to hear this. I've been promoting it. If you would like to follow Chummeng's work, you can look him up on Instagram on Unexplored Lab.
Yeah, the Office of Sun now. But you can first find me on us on
Khmae Urban Ballet. or just Khmae Urban. That's Khmae.
Yep.
And also your TikTok is
Yes.
your
I have my
TikTok's pretty
TikTok.
lit over there. So.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty lit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to learn more about Cambodian classical or folk dance, please follow us at Khmae Urban Ballet. I want to say thank you guys so much for supporting my podcast. It's been cute, I don't have that much followers, but I do see the revenues, I see people watching and the views. And I hope that also not only that this will help you not just for dance, but just you being an artist. I want to have you have an open mind and being connected with the spiritual world, because it's not always about spirits and ghosts and things like that. It's more of a self-awareness. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I see you in the next episode.
Love you. Bye.